So the skill builder in this section directs us to practice making Grignard, alcohols from Grignard reagents. So here are two alcohols we can practice on. You'll observe that we have a secondary alcohol and a tertiary alcohol, and that number gives you a clue as to how many possible ways there are to make this via a Grignard. So we can look at making this CC bond via a Grignard or that CC bond via a Grignard. So if we wanted to make the red bond via a Grignard reagent, we would need to have a 2-carbon aldehyde product, starting material, plus the Grignard that resembles this piece right here. Really all we have to do is redraw it. There's not a lot to think about in this case. So that Grignard, that would be the isobutyl Grignard. And of course the second step here would be addition of water. So that's the red text here is the first method of making this secondary alcohol. We could also follow the blue arrow, in which case we would need a 1-carbon Grignard to react with. So we can use methyl Grignard, and then we need an aldehyde that resembles the rest of the molecule. So we would have this aldehyde, and of course the second step here would be water as well. And there's actually a third way to do this, and I'll use the green method, and that's the addition of the hydrogen. That's not a Grignard reaction, but it's still useful to recognize that I could make this using NaBH4 in water or in ethanol solvent. So there's a third way to make this secondary alcohol, and it is via addition of this hydrogen, not of one of the carbon groups. Let's look at this tertiary alcohol. There's actually 3 different alkyl groups. We could make either any of these carbon-carbon bonds via a Grignard. So the first step might be to take this really large phenyl ring group. And again, all we're doing is redrawing the parts of the molecule and adding the different pieces that we need to react to make the desired tertiary alcohol. So this Grignard reacting with butanone should give us that tertiary alcohol. Another option would be to add ethyl Grignard to the reaction. And the organic molecule we'd start with would look like this. And once we add ethyl Grignard, followed by water addition, we would get the tertiary alcohol. And lastly, I'm sure you figured out already, we could add methyl Grignard. And that would add this methyl group right here. And the ketone starting material would be this. And you see we started with 3 different ketones. We added 1 carbon group to make a tertiary alcohol. Over here, we started with aldehydes and added 1 carbon group to make a secondary alcohol, or we started with a ketone and reduced it with an H to make a secondary alcohol. So when you're confronted with a request to make a certain type of alcohol, maybe via a Grignard reagent, or maybe we just say, make this alcohol, a very common way to do that is either reduction via hydride addition of a carbonyl that has the same carbon skeleton, or addition of a carbon group via the Grignard to a carbonyl that has most of the desired carbon skeleton, either aldehydes or ketones typically. So keep that in mind as we go further on this semester and we delve more into the synthesis of more complex molecules.